Here are 25 movies that I am excited for in 2025. Number 25, The Housemaid, directed by Paul Feig. He directed Bridesmaids, The Heat, Spy, Last Christmas, and this movie features actors Brandon Sklenar, Sydney Sweeney, and Amanda Seyfried. 24, Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, who directed Black Panther 1 and 2 and Creed. This movie is starring Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan. 23, Companion, directed by Drew Hancock, never heard of him, featuring Sophie Thatcher, Josh Quaid, and Lucas Gage. 22, Jurassic World Rebirth, directed by Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One, the Star Wars movie, and The Creator, featuring actors Jonathan Bailey, who just killed it in Wicked, and Scarlett Johansson. And I've actually got to bounce out really quick because it is a Tuesday night and I'm about to go see a movie, $5 movie Tuesday. So I'll be right back later to finish this video. I am back from my movie. I saw A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan biopic movie. I'm going to be talking a little bit quieter because Emily, my wife, is asleep in the other room. 21. Michael. This is a Michael Jackson biopic and Jafar Jackson is playing Michael Jackson, and I think Jafar is his nephew. I haven't fully done my research on that, but it looks like he looks a lot like him, and that's going to be pretty cool. This is directed by Antoine Fuqua. I've never heard his name before, but looking at his resume of movies, he's a pretty good director. He's directed Training Day, Shooter, The Equalizer, Southpaw, and The Magnificent Seven. This movie stars Miles Teller, Coleman Domingo, Jafar Jackson, and Laura Harrier. 20. Good luck, have fun, don't die. This looks pretty interesting. This is like an action sci-fi movie. Apparently a man from the future comes back to the present and must put together a crew to defeat like a rogue AI. This is directed by Gore Verbinski, who directed 1, 2, and 3 of the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, and The Ring and Rango. This movie stars Sam Rockwell, Juno Temple, and Haley Lou Richardson. 19. Captain America Brave New World. Now everyone knows Marvel has been down a little bit since Endgame. Hopefully this is their year. They normally drop 3 movies a year. This is my lowest movie of them this year, but I'm still got decently high hopes. I'll still go see it. This is directed by Julius Onah, who directed The Cloverfield Paradox. This movie features Harrison Ford, Anthony Mackie, Giancarlo Esposito, who is from Breaking Bad, and Liv Tyler, who is most known for Arwen from Lord of the Rings. Number 18, The Phoenician Scheme. Directed by Wes Anderson. If you don't know who that is, he has directed my favorite of his, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Isle of Dogs, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The Royal Tenenbaums, Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou. Last year, or in 2023, he did Asteroid City, and his one before that was The French Dispatch. I forgot this part when I was filming this video, but this movie features actors Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Bill Murray. 17. Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out 3. The first Knives Out, loved it. The second Knives Out, pretty good. This one has the same director, Rian Johnson. He has also directed Looper and Star Wars The Last Jedi. One of the most hated Star Wars movies, but I still thought that it was a pretty good movie. It's the trilogy overall that is not a cohesive trilogy, in my opinion, but I'll make another video about that someday if you're interested. The reason I'm excited about this one really is the cast. It's looking pretty good. It has Kaylee Spaney, Josh O'Connor, Daniel Craig, Josh Brolin, Kerry Washington, Mila Kunis, and Jeremy Renner. Stacked cast. I think I like this cast more than I liked the cast of Knives Out 2. Glass Onion. 16. Bugonia or Bugonia. Not sure. This is Yorgos Lanthimos' next movie. He has directed Poor Things, The Favorite, The Lobster, Kinds of Kindness. Very interesting, unique director. Poor Things is my favorite of his. This movie features Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, just like his last couple movies have. I guess he's kind of found his muses. 15. The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. This movie is about Frankenstein's bride. Could be pretty cool. acting in it is Christian Bale, Jake Gyllenhaal, Jessie Buckley, and Penelope Cruz. Maggie Gyllenhaal, I haven't seen anything directed by her, but good for her for stepping into directing. I'm always excited when an actor starts to direct. I think that's always a pretty cool thing. It's something that I would love to do. I would love to do both, but I always think it's cool when an actor goes from acting to directing. You never really see it vice versa. Somebody going from directing to acting. Not that I know of, at least. 14, Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Now this is very interesting because Frankenstein and The Bride are both Frankenstein stories coming out in the same year. Now this actually happens quite a bit in Hollywood. The last one I can remember that it happened was Elvis and Priscilla, coming out about a year or two apart. And this is kind of the same thing, Frankenstein and then The Bride. It's kind of like the male version of the story and the female version of the story. Very interesting. Guillermo del Toro has directed Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy. He recently did a Pinocchio movie, Shape of Water. He won Best Picture at the Oscars for, which I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen a ton of his movies, but he's a pretty legendary director. This movie, the cast is what gets me on this one. This movie features Jacob Elordi, Oscar Isaac, Christoph Waltz, and Mia Goth. 13, The Running Man, directed by Edgar Wright. Now this movie is apparently a remake, which I haven't seen this yet, but I will probably see it before this movie. This movie is a remake of like an 80s movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And apparently it's like this TV show, or like they televise it, but they release a bunch of criminals into like an empty city, and then a bunch of military or cops, like there's a team of good guys that gets to go hunt down the criminals, and then they get to kind of fight back, and it's like this whole televised thing, I guess. But I'll definitely be watching the old one. This is directed by Edgar Wright, who has directed Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz, and a couple other pretty good movies. Starring in this movie is Glenn Powell, who I have been loving recently, Coleman Domingo, Josh Brolin, Lee Pace, Amelia Jones, who I loved in Coda, and Michael Cera. 12, Thunderbolts. Now, I'm not like super stoked about this movie. Again, Marvel has kind of been on the down, but Florence Pugh is one of my favorite working actresses, and she's kind of the lead in this movie, so that makes me a little more excited about it than I would be. This movie is directed by Jake Schreier, who's directed Paper Towns and Beef, the limited series TV show. In this movie is Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, David Harbour, and Rachel Weisz. Super quick side note, what's really interesting about Thunderbolts is right now it has an asterisk at the end of the title, which is interesting. Are they going to change the title of this movie like right when it comes out, like, or are they hiding what the actual title is and this is just the working title? Not sure what the asterisk at the end of the title means, but there's something interesting going on there. 11, Eddington. This movie is directed by Ari Aster, who has directed Midsommar, Beau is Afraid, and Hereditary. I haven't seen Hereditary yet, but his other two that I have seen are pretty good. He's a pretty good horror-ish director. What I'm really excited about in this one is the cast and why it's so high for me. It's Austin Butler, Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, Pedro Pascal, and Luke Grimes, who's from Yellowstone. All right, my top 10 coming in hot. 10, After the Hunt, Luca Guadagnino's next movie. He directed Challengers, Call Me By Your Name, and a couple other pretty good movies. Challengers is one of my favorite movies of last year and probably of all time. It's definitely somewhere in my top 100 favorite movies right now. So I'm always excited for his movies. He's a great director and a great looking cast right now. It is Andrew Garfield, Julia Roberts, and Io Adebari. 9, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. I don't know a lot about this movie. The IMDb synopsis says, an imaginative tale of two strangers and the unbelievable journey that connects them. So not a lot of plot detail there, but the reason why this is so high up for me, first of all, cool title for the movie, and it features Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. I love both of those actors, and this is directed by Kogo Nada, who I have not heard of, but I don't know. I'm betting on this one. I have it pretty high up, but I'm betting on it, you know what I'm saying? Number 8, Mickey 17. The trailers are already coming out for this one. This looks like an epic space sci-fi comedy action movie. It's directed by Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite, another one of my favorite movies, so I trust him as a director. Memories of Murder, The Host, and Snowpiercer. This movie features Robert Pattinson as the lead, Mark Ruffalo, Steven Yeun, Toni Collette, and Naomi Aki from Blink Twice. 7, Fantastic Four, First Steps. Now this is my top Marvel movie of the year. I'm hoping this movie will kind of be a new step forward for Marvel. And this movie is directed by Matt Shakman, who directed WandaVision and a lot of episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This movie features Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Eben Moss-Backrack from The Bear, really like him, and Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things. 6, The Battle of Bactan Cross, or it might currently just be Untitled Movie by Paul Thomas Anderson. Not sure if Battle of Bactan Cross is going to be the title or if it's going to be something else. But this is Paul Thomas Anderson's next movie. If you haven't heard of him, you should. He has some pretty dope movies like There Will Be Blood, Phantom Thread, Punch Drunk Love. Those are the 3 of his that I've seen that are my favorites so far. I've seen a couple others that were kind of mid, but those 3 to me are really good, really sick, and I need to watch a few others like Magnolia and Boogie Nights. This movie features Leonardo DiCaprio. He's one of my favorite actors, so anything he's in is going to be high up for me, and him paired with Paul Thomas Anderson should be pretty sick. Also features Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, and Tiana Taylor. Not much is really known about this movie, but there has been a lot of leaked set photos. Here's some of those. Should be interesting. Leo looks cool with that stash. Number 5, F1. Pretty excited about this movie. Brad Pitt is another one of my favorite actors, so anything that he's in, I'm gonna be excited about. This is a Formula One racing movie, directed by Joseph Kosinski, who directed Top Gun Maverick, another one of my favorite movies, Oblivion, and Tron Legacy. This movie features Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem, loved him in Dune 2, so he's on the up for me, and young up-and-comer Damson Idris. 4, Marty Supreme. This movie is a movie about a ping pong champion named Marty, and Timothée Chalamet is playing Marty. And Timothy right now is just on a freaking hot streak. Like I just said, I just saw his movie A Complete Unknown tonight, the Bob Dylan biopic, and I thought it was very good. So I'm excited for this because of Timothy, and it's directed by Josh Safdie, who he used to be, him and his brother Benny Safdie are part of a directing duo, but they've recently split and they're both gonna do their own movies. So they together have directed Uncut Gems and Good Time. Haven't seen Good Time, but Uncut Gems is pretty sick. They have a very creative, artsy style. So that director paired with Timothy, I'm pretty excited about this one. Also in this movie, other than Timothy, is Gwyneth Paltrow and Tyler the Creator. All right, we're getting into the nitty gritty. Number 3, Superman, directed by James Gunn, who directed the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy and I think most recent Suicide Squad. I love the Guardians trilogy, so I'm excited for his take on this. He has, since finishing Guardians, left Marvel and taken over kind of running the DC universe. The trailer for this came out and it looks pretty sick. This movie features David Corenswet as Superman, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult has not been one of my favorites yet, but he's definitely growing on me. I just saw him in Nosferatu and I liked him in that. Millie Alcock, who is from House of Dragon season 1, loved her in that. Excited to see her as Supergirl. Isabel Merced, who I have seen in Alien Romulus. Rachel Brosnahan is playing Lois Lane. I haven't seen her in anything, but my little brother Ben tells me she's really good in A Marvelous Miss Maisel, which I'll definitely be watching soon. He's a big fan of hers, and from the looks of her in the trailer, I'm excited for her character. And Nathan Fillion. Love Nathan Fillion. Alright, my number 2 movie I'm excited for 2025 is Wicked for Good. Now, Wicked 1 Wicked Part 1, or just Wicked, that just came out in November of 2024, I thought was absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite movies of last year, and Wicked for Good is just going to potentially up that, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, really excited to see what they're gonna do with the sequel for Wicked. Directed by John M. Chu, who directed Wicked, In the Heights, and Crazy Rich Asians, and features actors Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh. Same cast as the first one, but the first one was great, so just really excited for that one. And my number one movie I'm excited for 2025 is Avatar: Fire and Ash. Now, Avatar 1 and 2, they're kind of controversial. I am a really big fan of them. My favorite thing about them is just how beautiful they are and how unique that world is, how unique the planet of Pandora is in these movies, and they're just so beautiful, and they have dope action and good acting, and they're just so their own thing. Like, visually, there's nothing else like them, and I love that. This is the third one in the series. They are directed by James Cameron, who is an absolute legend, and I just found out recently he is he's number 2, I think, behind Steven Spielberg, is one of the box office goats, meaning his movies have made the most money in theaters. I think he's number 2 on the list. He has directed Titanic, Avatar 1 and 2, Terminator 1 and 2, and a couple other good movies, but those are his main ones. In this movie is Zoe Saldana, who I love in everything she's in. She was in Emilia Perez this last year, and she killed it in that. Kate Winslet, who I also love in everything, and Sam Worthington, who is the lead in Avatar 1 and 2, and he kills it in that. It's kind of funny, I was just thinking about Sam Worthington. He doesn't do very many other movies other than these Avatar movies. Maybe because he makes so much money off these Avatar movies that he doesn't really need to do anything else. Who knows? All right. Thank you so much for watching. I know this was a long video, but let's get excited about these movies. Let's get excited about cinema in 2025. That's why this video is so long. Super quick side note, one thing that I'm gonna be really interested in is I rank these and what I'm most excited for. At the end of the year, I'm gonna be very interested to see how close my movie rankings are after seeing all these movies, how close my rankings compare to this predicted list of rankings. So that'll be fun to see. Hey, actually, you know what? My real number one of 2025 that I'm really most excited for is my next short film, which will definitely be coming out sometime in 2025. I've been writing it the entire past year, and I'm really excited to shoot that this year. Alrighty, smash that like and subscribe. The like button actually really helps YouTube creators like me. Just wanted to add on super quickly, since I filmed this video, I have found a ton of other movies coming out in 2025 that I am also excited for. So I am going to make a part 2 of this video, and it'll be coming soon. But also comment if there's a movie that I missed, and I can add that to part 2 of 2025 movies that I'm excited for. Thanks for watching.